She's April.
And she's Molly.
And we are
the Book Besties.
Oh my god, I cannot believe you're talking this much about period blood.
Mongo is appalled, Molly.
Did you know that's a pseudonym and nobody knows who he is?
Written by a ghostwriter.
Woo!
Listen, I shortened the way that I normally sing our intro, and I have a reason why. I had intended fully to come on to this episode and apologize to you and Katie for covering for me a week I was out. Because I knew you both didn't like the book because we had the group chat going and I knew you didn't like it. And then you motherfuckers threw me under the bus. You both said that I chose not to read that book specifically, which is not what happened. I asked to take a break for 1 week and gave you both the option of doing last week's book or this week's book. And you picked to do last week's book with Katie.
But if I recall, this is the second fairy tale book
I did not flake on whatever, do not eat or whatever the fuck it was called.
How to be eaten.
How to be eaten. I did not flake on that one. I did not flake on that one. I was
You're not having in general.
I was supposed to have surgery, and I was supposed to have 2 weeks off for surgery.
Right. Surgery. She scheduled surgery. Just like you were working.
You know what? It's really good that I love you because I fucking hate you right now. And the other reason why I will not be apologizing to you is because I was so excited for this week's episode and so fucking excited for you to read this week's book because I read it earlier this year, voted on by our fans on Instagram. And Katie has also read this week's book and we both fucking loved it. And I purposely have not read the sequel. I purposely did not read the sequel because I didn't want to get confused because I knew you were only going to have time to read the one. And then you didn't even fucking like it.
No, I gave it a 2.
I am now accepting applicants for a new best friend.
Welcome to my new content. Which is doing really well.
If anyone actually follows you separately on TikTok, that is all your content lately. It's just music and flipping people off. I'm like, what is happening?
So at first it started with the Natasha Bedingfield trend because people are using that song to do it. And then I was like, I can do this with other music.
Yeah.
I can make this. And now I've got several banked, and it's going to just be my content as middle
Molly
fingers.
saw a trend and thought, challenge accepted.
I can fucking do this. I will say, we did defend you down to the ground on that episode last week, though.
About the library, sure, but you threw me under the bus first.
But we will.
So thank you for not running over me a second time. But you can't undo what you already did.
Last week, I had to double wear my shirts too last week. But this week, we are back with the green shirt finally.
So Tom has that shirt in yellow. So this
Yellow's
one says,
a good color.
It says, until the lion tells the story, the hunter will always be the
hero.
The hero. Yeah. And it's an African proverb. I was reading it off of her shirt, which is blurry. So if you want to know why. So the shirt is blurry because of the way we film. So I couldn't read it clearly, but I do like it. Tom has the yellow one.
They come rolled, right?
Yes.
And I pulled it out of the bag and my dyslexic brain autofilled and was like, oh, they know we're Twilight fans. And I thought it said the lion fell in love with the lamb. And Matt's like, no.
Nope. That's not what it says.
That's not what it says. He goes, maybe you want to read the rest of it? And I go, probably should. Probably.
Nope. Not the right words, Molly. I'm just wearing a Bestie shirt today. I have been wearing lots of Carpe Librum stuff.
I love
since they are our official sponsors, and I love
they're officially comfortable.
and they don't
That's
shrink,
for
which is like
damned.
my number one thing. So I bought some t-shirts off of like TikTok shop and off of Etsy, and if they almost always shrink. And it's not just because the ones that are like imported, like it's not just that. It's like the t-shirt that you choose, and because they use that Canvas Bella stuff, that's that doesn't shrink.
Yeah, and it's
also
magic.
I have to say, like, this is one of those heather colors too that I'm wearing with the book Bestie. That's like my favorite t-shirt colors. I want the heather color. I love it.
Oh,
and all of their shirts are like that.
Yeah. So do you want to know where this t-shirt hunt led us?
I thought it was just like needed to be put in the dryer.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh jeez.
Oh no. All of the adult Biggs' laundry had been done. Nowhere to be found. By the way, I do all the laundry. So
which one of the little Biggs took it?
Matthew.
Say that again? Your husband had it?
Yeah.
And he was
So,
come on, Biggs.
Matt had done a load of clothes with his work clothes. He had just grabbed armfuls, wasn't paying attention to what he was doing, and then he washed, ran, and put all that shit away. But he thought it was all his shit. So he just hung a bunch of shirts and then put it in the closet.
Yeah, that's happened to us before, but it's usually Tom's clothes getting mixed in with mine. And the reason is because we wear the same size. Like, mine are tighter in the boob area, obviously, but I can wear his t-shirts. I just stretch the chest out.
I wear a men's large, or like I can wear a men's medium, and I can wear a woman's medium, but I prefer like larges and extra larges. It makes me feel more comfortable and flowy.
Yeah.
This is the large. He does not wear large. Matt's a petite dude. He wears men's mediums. Why you got this shirt, bro? I don't know.
I also have a pair of PJ pants that Tom claims are his, but they are 100% mine. And he can't have them. You hear me? But I know that you're editing this episode and you're going, those are my pants. But those are not your pants. Those are my pants. And yes, I'm talking about the black ones.
I hope he's wearing them while he edits.
I don't know that he can find them because they're my pants.
And they've been hidden in the house.
All right, pants, so
Easter egg hunt. Here we go.
So let's talk about what we're doing this book. Last week of September, episode 5 of the season, we are reading this book, Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. And this is book 1 in the Crimson Moth series. And Kristen Ciccarelli blew up with this series. And it's plugged by Rachel Gillig, who we're reading later this season. It's plugged by Rebecca Ross, who we read a couple seasons ago and absolutely loved her Divine Rivals series.
Divine Rivals was excellent.
So I'm going to give a synopsis.
Please. And then
I kind of want to flick you off while I'm doing it. All right. Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli is the first book in the Crimson Moth duology. This book follows a true enemies to lovers situation with a witch and a witch hunter. Rune Winters is a witch, but not just any witch. Rune is the Crimson Moth, who has been freeing witches from the purging for years now. Gideon Sharp is the capital of the Blood Guard, the brutal enforcers of witch purging. Although Rune has known and been friends with Gideon's brother Alex for most of her life, Gideon does not run in the same circles. Gideon's life mission is to rid the world of the evil witches who would enslave and torture them. In order for both of them to achieve their goals, they will need to manipulate one another into sharing the truth. Unfortunately, somewhere along the way, lines blur and their mutual hatred turns to love. Meanwhile, Rune's other best friend, Verity, is encouraging her to marry someone else in order to get information. And Alex is hoping that he can win Rune's heart. Can the hunted fall for the hunter? And are we more than the things that happen to us? Let's find out. All right.
Verity, that is such an annoying name. Like, did she just
it's Truth, which is kind of the perfect name for her.
That just so nail on the goddamn head. Come on. Like, this book is so overdone. Like,
well, let me ask my first question before you fucking already answer it.
Beating it with a stick, man. Okay, come on, ask the question.
This duology has been both of our TBRs for a while. I read it earlier this year, as I previously said, and so this was my second read of the year. Mm-hmm. Did the book hold up to the hype?
No. I'm very frustrated by this book. I've been looking forward to this book. I wanted to read it really badly. And
Mongo is appalled, Molly. That's all I have to say to that.
Okay, I'm still behind on Carl too. It's not fair.
Well, Katie will get it, and so will Tom. So
I'm happy for those two, but Momo here is very disappointed in Heartless Hunter. There is a lot of random elements thrown into this book and forced together, and it feels like the author's trying too hard. I feel like there's too many things going on in this book, and there's too many fantasy elements to make this a hard, solid, good book for me.
It is a fantasy book. What do you mean there are too many fantasy elements to it?
Okay. Regency area. Check. Okay. We got witches. Check. We got witch hunters. Check. We have royalty. Check. We have a caste system. Check. We have vagueness about what time we're in. Check. Like, there is just so many little bits happening that it just feels like she's pulling from too many different stories for me.
No.
Yeah.
It's been a really long time that we have, like, equally disagreed on a book. Like, we completely disagree on it. And I think this book and the sequel, because I do plan to read that, are probably going to become the next, like, book that we aren't allowed to talk about. Because this book is one that gets top shelf. I have it right here. It's got a hole where you can see it's a hole. It's right next to Fourth Wing. Because
it is not Fourth Wing.
And the reason that there's a hole there is because I have the book sitting next to me, but Rebel Witch is beside it. There is House on the Cerulean Sea with all of TJ Klune behind.
I cannot.
Divine Rival is back there. And then Heartless Hunter.
She can't even keep the era straight. First, they're in Regency era clothes.
It's fantasy.
Wearing Thrasher. Then all of a sudden she has magically regular underwear and a bralette that's perfectly laced and made.
It's like fantasy.
There's guns, but there's no vehicles. It's just, I cannot put all these elements together. It doesn't work.
So let me talk a bit about the guns but no vehicles. That has existed for a long time. First of all, vehicles are a modern invention. Guns are not.
But the way they're describing these guns are modern guns, not ancient, early day guns. They are really... Some of this is revolutionary. Some of it is not revolutionary. It's too much. It's too many things.
Okay.
Go to your next question. We're going to have the same argument all day.
Okay. I can't even process this. Well, I'm going to give you my opinion before we go on. I really liked this book. I saw it on TikTok. It's one of the books that, like, I added.
It's uber popular
to my TBR. I bought both books in the series without having read any of them. I actually had, at the end of last year, for Boxing Day at Barnes & Noble, I always, like, the day after Christmas, I go and buy, they always have a hardback sale.
Yeah.
And I think it was 4 different hardback duologies that I bought at the end of last year before I entered into my book buying ban. I have since read completely one of them and then half of this one, and still intend to try to finish the other ones before the year is out. But if I don't, I can just roll them into next year. But I really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed it as much the second time as I did the first time. It was really good for me to do a reread of it because there was so much foreshadowing that I didn't see. Like, one of the things I texted Katie about when I had first started it, because I knew you hadn't started it yet, but I texted Katie and was like, I see now why Verity did not want a relationship between Rune and Gideon. Like, 100%. That is, like, foreshadowed from the beginning, and you don't really know why until you get to the end. I do think it's a little cliche that her name is Rune. that's cliche. Like, she wasn't supposed to be a
It's
witch.
yeah, the
And
names are
I
just
and I don't, and Gideon being the savior of the people, that's a little
nail
cliche
on the
too.
head.
The
Yeah.
part that I don't really like is going to lead to my next question, so I'm just
Mhm.
gonna go into that. So the magic system in this book is different from others that we've read, and we have read a lot
Right.
of fantasy books, a lot of witches books. Witches in the world need blood, in this world, need blood to cast their spells.
Yeah.
While we haven't seen this on Pod before, this type
No.
of magic does exist in other stories.
Yeah.
What did you think about the choice to use blood to cast spells? And what about the fact that she uses blood from her period to do it?
Which is okay. Blood
That's the part that
magic,
really grosses me out. That's the thing
that
I have a
grossed me
gripe
out.
with. Mm-hmm.
It really grossed me out, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Blood magic, real world, fantasy worlds, historically,
Yeah.
in both sense,
It's
are
usually
since like
evil.
yes, it is a darker magic. You are
Mm-hmm.
fucking with the devil. You are playing with
Mm-hmm.
Satan when you
Mm-hmm.
do that because you are harming yourself to get this. It is you are
Mm-hmm.
taking from yourself to get something. That
Yeah.
is evil, evil, evil. So one, we don't fuck with blood magic. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. So in my opinion, no witch that uses blood is a good witch.
Yeah.
Okay? So her wanting to still be a witch but using her period blood is like
Ugh.
ugh. it's 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 Discovery of Witches. It's Diana being the most powerful witch in all the land, and she refuses to be a witch, and it instead is a academic, right? Like
Yeah.
denying who we are. And so her battling against, I liked this aspect. I will say this. Her battling against her need for the blood she has to use
Yeah.
versus her want to not use blood
Yeah.
is, I would say, if I were to read the second book, which I don't plan to, we're going to see more
Mm.
of her struggle
Yeah.
with how she uses her power and the use,
Yeah.
like, in the end, there's use of blood, right?
Yeah.
And it's not hers, and that's
Yeah.
like an evil thing. And
But it's
I,
gifted to her, so she's
but
allowed to use it. I do feel like there's a little bit of a plot hole here, that the blood that she gets from Verity, it's not Verity's.
no, and I don't think,
We get the impression that it's actually coming from the people that are murdered,
right, but
and
she
the
doesn't know
Crimson
that.
Moth is, I know, but if she's using blood that wasn't given to her freely, it should have corrupted her. So
Right,
that's where I'm like, okay, I need her to
right.
explain that a little bit. But
But
we see at the end when she uses Alex's blood,
yeah.
which is given to her freely, that she has a
Hmm.
full rush of the magic in
Yeah.
her body, and that kind of power surging through her, it's going to
Yeah.
be enough to make her want to continue to do it. And also, she's already outed
Yeah.
as a witch now, so if she cuts herself, it won't matter. I thought it was
Right.
really clever that she decided not to cut herself so she didn't have
Yeah.
scars. But there is another character who we'll talk more about later who says, I would check between her legs. Like, that's the
Yeah.
least likely place people would see it.
I
Um but
Blood magic should have corrupted her is the like deep underlying for me. And even with the
yeah.
use of her period blood, we should have in this book, and this is like a bell ringer for me, we should have seen her slowly corrupt. And I guess her constantly changing her opinion about how she feels about Gideon could be that corruption, but it's just not a hard enough line for me, if that makes sense.
I think she does a clear job of explaining why she's not corrupted by using the period blood. For me, the gap is, if she's getting blood for Verity, I guess that is considered being gifted the blood, but it wasn't
Right.
Verity's blood to begin with. So
Right.
I feel like there should be a little bit of corruption there.
Yeah.
The,
And
the fact that it's period blood, this is what is weird to me, because we're both women, and so we
yeah.
both have periods. Like, this is
Yeah.
not new information.
No.
It's still blood, but period blood super grosses me out.
It's different though.
It
In
super
my
grosses me out.
opinion, in my opinion, as if I was a witch in this world, I would
Mm-hmm.
call period blood dead blood versus living blood,
It's
right?
old blood.
It's old blood.
Yeah.
It's your body is it's waste, okay? Your
Yeah.
body is creating waste. And
Right.
so there is a difference from a cut when it's
Yeah.
thriving and coming out of
Yeah.
you and it's gushing and bright red
Yeah.
versus what is coming from between your legs.
I
So
agree.
her magic should not be working,
Well, it doesn't
in my
work that
opinion.
well. Her magic
No,
doesn't work that well.
because
You
she's
see,
using the dead blood.
well, and
Oh
Verity
my
keeps
god, I
telling her
cannot
that.
believe you're talking this much about period blood.
Well, Verity does tell her that that's why her magic isn't working as well.
And last week we bitched about breastfeeding. We are really woman hating this month.
We never will hate women.
No, but for some
Not on
reason
this
we're
pod.
really angry about breastfeeding and period blood this month.
All right, so the backstory we get on Rune Winters is that she was raised by her grandmother, who was a witch.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, Rune is forced to inform on her grandmother to save herself from the purging.
Mm.
Rune doesn't discover her witch powers until after her grandmother is killed. Did Ciccarelli do a good job with the redemption story?
No! You're telling me this woman, she just magically became a witch at 16.
Well,
Magically.
I do
And
think
her
there's a
male
story there
best
that
friend
I do think that there's a story there that we
saves
don't
her.
know, because being a witch is like genetic, and she says
Yeah.
it can skip generations, but it doesn't normally. And we don't know anything about her parents other than they
I was
weren't
going to
witches.
say, yeah.
I
It's
think
just
I think we're gonna find out in book 2
the
who her
amount of
parents really
money
were.
that family had and the fact that they were deemed upper class and had this shipping like bullshit. Why didn't they just pack up and leave? Save grandma's life.
They couldn't at that point because the guard was already at the harbor blocking the ships from leaving. They couldn't
I
leave.
But they didn't know grandma was a witch at
Yes,
that
they did.
point.
That's why she informed on her. They
Oh.
knew grandma was a witch and they were coming
I
for grandmother. And so if she just chose not to inform on her, she would have been implicated as well. Her grandmother told her, "You have to implicate me. You have to say I'm a witch, that you discovered it, so they will save you."
But I thought it was the not boyfriend that told her to do that.
He did, because they already knew.
I Okay.
I don't know. The grandmother told her do this, and I do think it's a good redemption story. It's a, kind of a
It
timeless idea that like
it's more of
somebody would
guilt.
be a wolf in sheep's clothing. Like her being the Crimson Moth makes so much sense that I don't understand how she got away with it for so long, because
But
of
I don't
course
feel
she
like it's a
is.
I don't feel like it's a redemption story. It's a story of a girl who feels guilty for what she did to her own blood. So now she's trying to fix the mistakes of her past by saving others.
Well,
It's more
okay,
of a
that's
story
fair.
of guilt.
Maybe we don't use the term redemption story, but it's her trying to redeem her own guilt in that way.
I Okay. Like how many times have we seen that though?
I
How
mean,
many times have we seen that?
we have, but I think
Yeah.
she did it well. I know
Okay.
you don't agree.
I
Rune
don't
is
think
very
so.
wealthy. She is the
Very.
gem. She is a gem within the upper class society, and
A
she
little bit
plays.
slutty too.
She's not though. She never actually sleeps with any of those guys. The only
It's
guy
just
that she's ever
insinuated.
slept with is Gideon.
But it's insinuated that she takes boys to her room.
Yeah, and gets them drunk on the truth serum, and then gets gets information out of them, not
Get
sexually.
stuff out of him. Stuff out of him. Ayo.
You know what? Shut the fuck up. And she plays the part of society of a socialite so well.
Yeah.
What do you think about the choice to have her hiding in plain sight? Do you feel likely she'd get away with it for this long?
Superman did. Spider-Man does. It's a superhero story. Yeah. She
Mm-hmm.
is a hero that lives in the shadows. She
Yeah.
just doesn't have Clark Kent's glasses. She
I
doesn't
mean,
go
and if you even want to
to
use
school in the
like,
Bronx,
if you even want to use a
right?
true story, you can use Hercules Mulligan. He was literally a spy
She's
in plain
just
sight.
it's just she's just using what she has because of the period. She has to use the times and what she has.
Mm-hmm.
It's I mean, it's just been played. It's just this is what I'm talking about. Like when I say like it's all been done, like this
So,
story, the grandmother story.
and I feel like, and this is something we've talked about on here before too. Like we don't mind cliches and things that are overdone if it's done well. I
Mhm.
personally think that she did this well.
Oh,
And
I feel like this book is choppy.
oh, not at all. I feel like it's written very much in like the same like poetic sounding form that Rebecca Ross
Mm.
writes in.
Did you do audiobook or physical book?
I read the physical book.
The audiobook makes it very chunky.
Hmm.
Very chunky.
No, I read the physical book both times.
Yeah, it's chunky.
Hmm. Well, I don't know. All right, Gideon Sharp is known as the brutal captain of the Blood Guard. The Crimson
Mhm.
Moth is known. Oh, sorry. Circling back, another book we've read that did this before, we actually read in season 8, and that was um, A Tempest of Tea.
Which also we had beef with.
I loved The Tempest of Tea. The second
I
one comes
had beef
out.
with.
It comes out this month, and I'm like very
Biting at the
excited to get
bit.
it.
Yeah.
Actually, it comes out the week that we're filming this. I can't wait. I want to read it again. I want to read the new one. All right, so Gideon Sharp is known as the brutal captain of the Blood Guard. The Crimson
Mhm.
Moth is known as a vicious, murdering witch. Neither
Yeah.
of these descriptions are true to the characters. Since this is an enemies to lovers story, do you think these descriptions were necessary to make the relationship progress?
No, and I actually would argue that this is a love triangle, not an enemies to lovers.
Love triangle with Alex,
Yeah, the
who
brother.
she's completely friend zoned, and he says the thing that you don't like, which is, I have been here this whole time,
Pick
and
me,
feels like he
choose
has a
me.
right to her because
Yeah.
he's her best
Oh, I
friend.
hate that. But
Well,
it
that's what
still
he
feels
does, Molly.
it's still a love triangle because
Mm,
the book sets it up for him to be the second option.
yeah.
The writer sets it up for him to be the second option. So it is a love triangle. It's a love triangle against her will.
So when you are judging this book, I just want to know, are you judging it as a YA book or are you judging it as an adult book?
Is it YA?
It's a YA book.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Does that
I didn't
change your
know that.
perception at all?
A little,
Because
not
all the
much.
books that like I'm referencing that it's similar to are all YA. Divine Rivals,
Yeah,
A Tempest of Tea, you've
I
got
don't
the
know.
love triangle.
I just feel like this format's done over and over again, and I don't feel it's unique in any way. It's a witch trial. We have so many witch trial books, so many witch hunt books.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, we've read a lot of witch books for this pod, and this is my favorite of the witch books that we've read.
But you hate witch books normally.
Well, I really that I've read a few that I really like. That's not
I
always the
know,
case.
but the ones I've picked you dislike.
You're just referring to Discovery.
Valid. You didn't like the witch that was the nanny that pulled the pond out of her car.
Oh, I just thought that book was really cheesy.
I like cheese
That
sometimes.
was the
Not last week's cheese. Last week's
Irregular
cheese.
Witches or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Society
The
of Irregular Witches.
Society of which the new one, the Innkeeping just came out
I know.
for
And
her.
I just thought that was cheesy. And we read a witch book that like takes place on an island, and I don't know that we would really call that a witch book as much as like the island. Yeah, there was witchcraft in it.
Yeah,
The island, I liked that one a lot.
yeah. It's
The
just
the murder one on the
I
island, I
don't
thought
know.
that was good. Okay, well
I just
anyway.
but anyway, I feel it's done, and I don't know how to explain that.
Well, I'm so glad we're doing an episode about it then. All right, Gideon's backstory is also tragic. Gideon
Yeah,
was a sex slave for Cressida Roseblood, one of the evil witch
heartbreaking.
queens.
Yeah,
Cressida is responsible for the death of Gideon's sister and his parents. So she is also responsible for his brokenness. What did you think of this being his backstory?
It was original. It was like one of the original ideas in this, and it was very tragic and realistic for someone in that kind of power, especially like the forcing him to serve tea
Mm-hmm.
when he doesn't do what she wants,
Mm-hmm.
threatening his like that's the kind of witches I expect to do blood magic.
Mm-hmm.
Is evil bitches like that.
Well, and they were
Uh
the ones doing the evil blood magic.
yeah. Yeah, but I feel like blood magic is evil in general. But
I understand and I agree that that's normally the case, but in this
not
world,
in this
that was
book.
not the
Not in this
case.
book. Right, right, right. But yeah, no, like that was original to me. Like
Mm-hmm.
we don't usually have a male hero, male lead that has, especially in a YA novel, this
Mm-hmm.
kind of backstory.
It reminded me a lot of Rhysand's story in the Akatar series, which I know that you didn't read beyond the first one, but I've read all of them.
I couldn't get
And
into that either.
I know you
Something's
didn't.
wrong with me.
Amarantha, who's the evil fae in the first book,
Mm-hmm.
he's referred to as Amarantha's whore, Rhys is,
Hmm.
just like Gideon is referred to um as
What's her
what's
face?
her name?
Yeah.
Cressida's whore,
Cressida's whore.
or the
Yeah.
witch whore,
The
and
witch's whore.
the
Yeah.
witch's whore, and neither of them were willing participants in their relationships. And I
Yeah.
think so. I want to talk more about this a little bit later, but I think this is one of those things that made it less YA for me, even though this is a
Yeah.
YA book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did think that was like very alarming. They're not that old in this book, so he was essentially a
No.
child who
Yeah.
was being essayed repeatedly
By another child.
by, well, she's older than him, but she's still not, I don't know that she was fully an adult. She was a young
She
adult.
was a smidge older than him.
Yeah. It's really graphic.
Yeah.
And I do think it made a lot of sense of why he was so easily manipulated, because I do feel like he was manipulated into
Mm-hmm.
overthrowing the queens. Not that he was
Yeah.
wrong in doing so, but to throw out the queen witches and then to think all witches are like that. He was able to be manipulated that way because of his backstory.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, it's a realistic one.
Mhm.
Power does corrupt in that kind of way.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. But for him to be so dark, for him to have so much rage, it's I know people with PTSD from those things.
Mm-hmm.
It was my job,
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
deal with that kind of stuff sometimes, and that rage,
Mm-hmm.
it's in the eyes, it's
Mm-hmm.
not anywhere else.
Yeah.
And when you see it, you see it, but it is a little heavy for
Mm-hmm.
an adult, a YA novel. I
Yeah.
would definitely have wanted this storyline more in the new adult, but then
Yeah.
they like make the sex fade to black, right?
Yeah. We're going to talk more about that in a bit, but similar to
Okay.
how we both felt about uh, Binding 13, like that's a YA
Yeah.
book, but this is not a YA book that's meant for 12-year-olds. This is a YA book
No.
that's meant for
This should have
older
been
high
new adult.
schoolers.
Yeah.
But again, new adult isn't a category in bookstores or in libraries, so it's
Libraries.
not a category in publishing. They can call it new adult, but what most people consider to be new adult is like Colleen Hoover. They want
Ew.
a romance story that
You
has a
see
little tragedy
writing a
in
new
it.
book?
Oh gosh. And the new book is basically about her fucking life.
You're not that important, Colleen.
I
You're
thought she
not.
was retiring from writing because of all this drama and we
Seriously.
were done with her, but now she's back to haunt us again. Oh gosh. Anyway, every time
Gross.
somebody checks out Colleen Hoover from the library, I get the same icks that I get with people that check out James Patterson.
Mm.
I know my James Patterson is my literary nemesis, but I get the same icks when they read Colleen Hoover.
Hmm.
All right, Rune has two best friends, Alex Sharp
Yeah.
and Verity
Mm.
DeWild.
Yeah.
Alex and Verity are the only two people who know Rune's true identity. However, they have very different roles in her life. So I want to talk about Alex first.
Okay.
What did you think about their relationship?
I mean, we've seen it before, the male best friend, the female friend, but he's in love with her and she's not
Mhm.
in love with him, but she doesn't
Mhm.
see that he loves her. It it it's sweet, but and him wanting to take her away, it's sweet,
Mhm.
but I just feel it's played. I've just seen the story before.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to throw the pen, but it's just something I've seen.
I
I
Go
don't
ahead.
think there's anything. I'm trying to think if there was anything like unique about it for me, but there wasn't.
So for me, I knew something there was going to be some sort of twist with him, and the reason was because of the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. That
Okay.
book, the first book in that series, is phenomenal, and it's a hard nosedive after that.
Mhm.
I'm also not really happy with her right now, which is a whole other conversation. But
Mm.
Victoria Aveyard's Red Queen, it's brothers, and one is the first one she meets, she already has a thing for, he has a thing for her, but she gets paired up with the other brother.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's a whole like
Yeah.
who's she gonna be with thing. And to me, there's a twist that happens in Red Queen, which I'm not gonna ruin because we are not reading that episode for, or we're not reading that book for pod.
No.
But there's a twist that happens at the end of the first book. So I knew there was going to be something with Alex. And in which I was right. I do think it's interesting. He's the only other living member of this family besides Gideon, and he is the one to have was said to have killed Cressida.
Right.
And him being this accomplished pianist, being this kind-hearted person, being super gentle, being that person doesn't align with him killing Cressida, but you
No.
think he does it because she was hurting his brother and she basically
Right.
was the reason that his whole family was dead. I'm
Right.
not going to ruin the spoiler yet. We'll get to that, but I knew there would be some sort of twist with him. Um, so let's go on to the next one. All right, let's talk about Verity. And we're
Yeah.
not going to give spoilers yet. That's going to come a little bit later. But Verity discovers Rune's magic at a party. She
Accidentally.
she smells it.
Yeah.
She is a student at the college on a scholarship after she left her family when her mother and stepfather turned in her twin sisters. They were twins, not her. They're her twin sisters for being witches. Verity knows a
Mm.
lot about magic from watching her sisters. What were your thoughts on Verity?
She was very loyal friends. But
Yep.
the way it read, I thought Verity for a long while was a chambermaid till they started talking about her going to school. And I was like,
They talked about her going to school when she's first introduced.
but it's
But she
blown
does sort of
past.
feel like she's more like the house
Like,
servant. Yeah.
yeah, that's like the pace and the vibe it gets.
Hmm.
So it's not always loyal friend, but loyal servant.
Yeah.
And later with the spoiler, I my feelings are tied up in that, and
Hmm. I actually really, Verity was a hard one for me because I feel like on the first read, I thought she really just wants to help Rune. She's
mm,
encouraging her. She's going over spells with her.
mhm.
She's giving her blood. And so on the first read, I was like very
Uh,
much Team Verity. But then when you read it a second time, you see a lot of the things that lead to the spoilers. So it's
right.
hard to. The only part about Verity I didn't really like is how she was absolutely trying to marry Rune off. Um,
Yeah.
to get
She's trying to get her out of
information.
her way, honestly.
Yeah. She was trying to get her to
Honestly.
marry someone for, you know, more information, but it I guess society wise that made sense, but what Rune was doing, even though the men kind of thought she was a whore, that was actually to her advantage because
Yeah,
then they could
I don't
go.
know. Verity is a friend of convenience, but I don't think either realizes it. She's a friend of convenience for Rune, and
Mhm,
Verity is using her, like, they're using each other. And I
mhm.
don't think it's really a true friendship. And that's why I think I got the chambermaid vibes out of it.
Yeah, I can see that. And also, what I do struggle with Verity is the fact that she's still invited into the inner circle of the upper society when
Even though she's not upper
she
crust.
yeah, she left her family and all her money. But,
Yeah,
you know,
like
she still has that one friend who keeps her in the inner circle.
that math doesn't math.
I mean, but it happens in other books too. That happens in the selection.
Yeah, but it's not the same in the selection.
Because you like the selection. That's why it's not the
No, it's
same.
not the same in the selection because in the selection, when the friends come, it's like this group visit, right? It's not
No,
just like, oh,
I'm talking about the friend who gets kicked out for kissing a guard and is still
that's not the same. That's
in
not
the
the
inner
same.
circle
That's not the
after.
same. But that's different. That's different.
All right, agree to
The
disagree.
intentions are different.
All
It's
right.
not the same story.
Gideon is ugh, let me try that again. Gideon is tipped off that Rune Winters might be involved with the Crimson Moth by his hunting partner, Lila Creed, whose father is also Gideon's mentor and the revolutionary who started the rebellion against the witches.
Mm-hmm.
And Harrow, who is a civilian who informs on witches after she's enslaved by one and has her ear cut off.
Ugh.
What are your thoughts on um, Lila and Harrow?
They're very biased, which
Mm-hmm.
makes the guard biased and really just turns the table of evil from one side to another, right? We had bad witches, now we have bad humans.
I thought
Like
it was an interesting choice that they both have two friends that are their inner circle.
it
I
it's
definitely
for
thought
a
Harrow
formula. It's a freaking formula.
I definitely thought that Harrow was going to be someone in disguise. I especially after the reveal at the end, I was certain that Harrow was someone else as well.
I really thought the chick, the bestie chick, the one that was constantly trying to get him to sleep with Rune.
That's Harrow
Yeah, okay.
or
Well,
Harrow.
I
I'm
know
not sure how
Harrow.
the okay.
It wasn't. I don't know how it was said in the book off the top of my head, but neither of those sound right. How's it spelled?
Harrow.
Harrow. It was said Harrow in the book then. No, probably I don't know. Her. I always felt like we were missing part of her plot line.
We are. And I wonder if that's going to come up in the second book because she's still with Gideon at the end of this book.
Even though a lot of shit goes down, she's still by his side, and it just feels like we're missing a pace with her and
Mhm.
her urgency towards pushing him towards
Mhm.
Rune. It feels personal for her. It doesn't
Mhm.
feel like
Yeah.
she wants to get the Crimson Moth. She wants to get Rune.
Yeah. She's not accepting any payment. Like she's very much set on yeah. Yeah.
Something's up there, and
I agree. I agree. And as far as Lila, I feel like she's a product of how she was raised. Like her
mm-hmm,
dad deeply hates witches, so she
yeah,
hates witches.
yeah.
And it's not going to change her feelings that he gets killed at the end by a witch. Like that's
No,
not going to change it. It's just going
honestly,
to.
I kept putting those two as the same person in this book
I feel like
because
that's really easy to do,
in the
and
audiobook,
this is something that she could have done as the writer. One of them
yeah,
needed to be a male.
in the audiobook, their voices are very similar, their
Mm-hmm.
tenors are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get a distinct this is this person and this
Yeah.
is this person. And their names are similar, and it's just
Their names are not
it
similar at all.
the way the audiobook narrator says them.
Well, I feel
Her
like
voice,
one of them needed to be a male, and that would have
yeah.
helped differentiate them more.
I promise you this audiobook did not help this book. The
Well,
audiobook
maybe that's
narrator
why you
did
didn't
not help.
like it. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
All right, let's talk about the relationship between Gideon and Rune. While
Okay.
they're while the two are mortal enemies
Mm.
and start their courting to suss out information, They slowly fall from one another. The relationship builds throughout the whole book, and I personally think the development was really good on the page. But I really have a beef with the open door sex scene. So I want to talk about that for a minute. There is only one time in this whole book that they have sex.
Yeah.
But it is a lot more explicit than I'm comfortable with in a YA.
For a YA? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now that I know it's YA, I definitely have beef with how much we see.
Yeah.
Especially with them, like the skinny dipping scenes, and like looking back at some of these scenes after, like, you can't label this YA and have that much.
Like the skinny dipping didn't bother me because they're not like, I mean, skinny dipping happens in other YA books. Sex happens in other YA books, but this one has descriptors. Like, it's like he's touching her and we're getting descriptions of where he's touching her. I mean, it actually
and how
talks
it feels
about
for him and feels for her.
And we get a discussion of the orgasm, and that is way too open door for me for YA. I do not like that. YA books, I don't mind if a YA book has sex in it, but I want it to be fade to black, closed door. We don't get descriptors because they are literally children. They're being read by children. So for me, that is why I can't give this book 5 stars. And I know that you don't like it at all, but I gave it 4.5 stars. I really, really, really liked this book a lot. But that right there in the period blood was enough for me to be like, you can't be 5 stars.
No, the sex is off, but it's very choppy in the audiobook. Scenes don't feel like they belong together at times. And their romance. Like, we go from them being totally infatuated, and all of a sudden in the audiobook, we'll jump to Rune's thought process, and she's like, I'm gonna do this to him, and I'm gonna do this to him. Remember, don't do this, don't do this. And it's like, wait, when did that, like, why are we jumping so quickly into Rune's thoughts?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I feel like the progression of the relationship felt natural for something that was started as a manipulation. Like, they were both essentially using each other for information and fell in love.
Versus spy.
Yeah. And then fell in love along the way, and then that really fucks it up for them because they're like, okay, so now how do I do my job when I have feelings? Like, you're not allowed to catch feelings in that particular case.
No.
So, all right. So ultimately,
especially if you think she's a witch.
Well, he's pretty confident, but he sees no scars on her. And one of the reasons that he wants to get her naked is that he needs to see if she has scars on her.
Gotta check the inside of her thighs.
He did. He sure did, because he went down on her, and it talks about that in the audiobook, or in the book, which it shouldn't, because it's YA. All right. So ultimately, the story builds to a huge battle in the end. And here are spoilers, which we always give spoilers, but I wanted to save this to the end because this is when we find out as the reader too.
Yeah.
Gideon discovers Rune is the Crimson Moth, and he sets a trap for her. Alex comes to her aid because he's now proposed to her and she's planning to marry him. And he's arrested with her. But Verity is missing. Or is she? This was my second reading of the book, but the first reading, I was really shocked to learn that Verity was actually Cressida in disguise. Did you predict the plot twist?
I was surprised. I did not see this coming, and I'm usually pretty good at this stuff.
Me too.
It makes sense why Verity didn't want to be around him. It makes sense why she was constantly deterring her from seeing him. It's like Verity had already claimed dibs.
Yeah. And it's like the fact that she was always tired and she always wore too much perfume. Like, those were all indicators that she was not who she said she was. But they make it a point to say that to have that kind of magic, you wouldn't be able to do it. Like, that kind of magic wouldn't be able to be done without an extreme amount of blood. And the Crimson Moth is accused of killing all these people.
It wasn't the Crimson Moth!
It's not the Crimson Moth that's killing all these people. It's Verity as Cressida doing it.
Yeah.
I was really shocked at the plot twist. For me, I felt like the book was as a whole was really good, and then to bring that at the end, I was like, damn, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with how well, especially on my second reading, I was really impressed with how well there were all these foreshadowing moments that I didn't pick up on.
Yeah, but I shouldn't need a second reading to fall in love with this book.
I fell in love with it the first time, though.
But you fell more in love with it because of the foreshadowing. And the foreshadowing made it better for you.
I was just more impressed with that twist.
Okay. I don't know.
All right. So, final thoughts, rating. Will you read Rebel Witch, which is the sequel?
I won't. Katie told me the only questions I had questions about.
Okay.
And answered the question I had questions about for that. I gave it a 2, a solid 2, but a 2. It just feels like
believe you gave it a 2.
It's a formula book to me. It just feels done. And I can't explain that or defend that any more than I already have. It just feels done. And
I'm just really shocked because usually if it's a witch book, the person that doesn't like it is me.
Yeah. But
it's just weird to me.
I don't know.
Well, I'm glad that Katie was able to give you the answers you wanted. I do plan to read it, and I plan to read it this year. So I know we're in September, but I will finish it before this year is out because
I only had one question.
Don't tell me what it is.
The question?
Well, you can tell me the question, just don't tell me the answer.
My question was the brother that died at the end, if he stays dead.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? That's like a thing they do in books where we bring people back from the dead, and it's just
I'm not going to look at you when I say this because I don't want to see a smirk or anything that would give it away, but I would be surprised if Alex comes back because I think his death is actually pivotal for both of the characters.
That makes sense.
That's what I said. All right, so next month, would you like to talk about what we're doing next month? Because it's October. We're gonna do our spooky reads again, and we're gonna kick off the month with this book, which is called "Bury Your Gaze."
I keep saying "bury."
Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. This is a library copy. Support local libraries.
I was Googling him. Did you know that's a pseudonym and nobody knows who he is?
No.
Yeah.
Great. I don't care enough about this book to find out.
Moving on.
We'll talk about that next week. Then we are going to move. The second week, we're going to read this book.
Grady Hendrix is back, bitches!
Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. We loved Grady Hendrix last spooky season, so we're doing him again. And we'll be joined by our very good friend, Francesca Zappia.
Yay! I'm so excited. I've missed her face.
Me too. She's been very busy. I have been watching her TikToks. I know nothing about Magic the Gathering, and I'm loving her TikToks on it. It's just amazing.
I don't either. But Big Lady Magic is where it's at, man.
Big Lady Magic, yeah. Then we are going to read None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, which comes highly recommended to us. And so
it's all over the TikTok too.
Yeah. And then we're kind of late to the party, but we've been asked several times to read Frida McFadden. So we are going to start with The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. And we're going to try it out.
What are your thoughts on it being an AI book? Possibly.
So I know that suspicion is out there. I haven't read it to say, what I think of that.
It'll be part of our discussion.
But here's the thing, and I can say this again in the episode. Frida McFadden is one of those authors that started as an indie author and became popular on like KU and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. When she was picked up by a traditional publisher, the reason that she has so many coming out at one time is because she already has a back catalog of books she wrote.
Yeah. So you think that's where the rumors of the AI is coming from?
Well, she's put out, she's popping out books. I think she's done like 4 or 5 this year alone.
That's a lot of goddamn books. But so does like Matt though, right? Like Matt Dinneman's got a bazillion books.
Yes, but again, he released 7 books in 1 year because he already had those written and they were already indie published.
Right. That's true.
So it's not the same as like someone like James Patterson that is not writing Currently, I have 5 James Pattersons on my new bookshelf, 4 in the fiction and 1 in the nonfiction. And that's not even including the teens, the Juve, and the little kids section, because he's in those sections too. And the reason is because
your children into James Patterson.
James Patterson doesn't write his books. Almost all of his books are written by a ghostwriter. The ones that are not written by a ghostwriter will have someone else's name on them. But the ghostwriters are almost always marginalized people who get 0 credit for writing James Patterson. And that is why I do not like James Patterson.
But that's why I'm a Rick Riordan stan, because homie brings them boys up.
Yeah, but also
puts his name on it. Rick Riordan presents. I know.
We need to do better as white people and not just bring up people of color by putting our name on shit too.
That's called the white savior complex.
Right. 100%. All right, besties, this season of Book Besties is proudly sponsored by Carpe Librum.
The
one and only Carpe Librum. Bookish things for bookish people. So keep checking our social media and listening all season long for special perks and merch that you can get using discount codes.
Did you know what I learned? Did you know what I learned?
What?
They make one of the coolest freaking bookmarks on the market.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
They have a 13-step process that is like a propriety to them.
Oh, yeah. I've seen them on the knockoffs on Amazon. They fall apart.
Oh, I have some knockoffs and they dent your book. So, so I haven't had a chance to check their bookmarks out yet, but I have 4 of their shirts. They're very comfy. They're all size
I love their shirts.
They do not shrink. They're made here. They're made at their home shop. They screen print by hand.
My favorite part of their shirts is it looks like I could get tetanus from the typewriter that they use to make the font.
There's definitely like a real like gritty and authentic feel to it.
Yeah. Like that's what I want, right? Like I want to feel like an old man is going dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun, 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 dun,
and
like
as a librarian,
because I'm a bookish person,
right? We're both bookish people, for sure. As a librarian, I wear these shirts to work and I get compliments on them all the time. So if you want your own cool shirts, go to beawesomereadbooks.com. And for the month of September, you can use the code HelloBesties to save free shipping on your order.
Shut up, free shipping!
Free shipping. Your girl loves free shipping.
Same.
I will pay extra to get free shipping.
I will pay that extra $10. All right, besties. You use that code.
You use the code. The shirts are really high quality. They will not shrink. They are size.
Tag us on the socials when you buy it.
XL. Yes, please. Yeah,
we can't wait to see them, guys. All right.
All season long, we'll have deals for you.
All season.
All right. Back to your episode.
So, all right. Well, next time we see you guys.
Yeah. We'll do the spooky
in the spooky season.
Yeah, I'm so excited because we have Chezzy in October.
I'm so excited to hang with her.
We have 2 guests. We have 2 guests in November and 2 in December, I think. Honestly, the one that I'm the most excited for this season is going to be Kelsey Navarro Foster, who's a narrator, audiobook narrator. We've never had a narrator on before.
No.
And I don't know how that episode's going to go because we're not actually reading a specific book. We're just kind of talking to her about her career. So it'll be definitely different from our normal format, but I am pumped.
It'll be fun.
It'll be great.
I'm pretty excited for Beth Revis to come back. I'm not.
Oh my gosh. I love Beth. And she's going on tour with her co-writer, Sarah. I don't know if you say Sarah's last name, Raish or Rosh. I will find that out before we have the episode, but they are going on tour together, and I am trying to convince myself that driving 6 hours.
6 hours is a long drive.
Is too far to go to see them for their tour.
It is a little far.
But
we're going to see her in November.
We have an indie author coming on. We have 2 indie authors coming on, actually. So yeah.
So exciting, guys.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
So much fun.
Yeah.
All
right, so that's all we've got. We will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Book Besties. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The views discussed here are those of April and Molly, not those of anyone else. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Carpe Librum, the shop that has bookish things for bookish people. And right now, you can get free shipping by using the code HelloBesties, which is good for the month of September. Today's book was Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. Your Book Besties are Molly Biggs and April Watkins, editing by Thomas Watkins, and music is Sleep Sweetly by Prigida. Don't forget to follow the Book Besties on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you'd like to contact the Book Besties, please email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com or visit our website, bookbestiespodcast.com. Until next time, besties, get lost in your favorite book.